My name is Molly Collins. I'm the Advocacy Director of the ACLU of Wisconsin, and I do a lot of our lobbying and political work. Right now, one of our focuses is on mass incarceration, and so we're really interested in the study that came out from the Prison Policy Institute. The study by the Prison Policy Institute talks about the scope of mass incarceration in Wisconsin, how we compare to the nation, where people fall inside the criminal justice system, prisons, jails, community corrections, parole, and just really like what the broader picture of mass incarceration is in Wisconsin. So we have more people in prison than we've ever had in our state's history, 23,000 people in a system built for 17,000 people. So we have a massive overcrowding problem in our prisons. We also have about 14,000 people in our local jails, children in youth facilities, and federal prisoners. Our prison and jail incarceration rates have risen pretty steadily since the 1970s, and they are at almost an all-time high. Many of the people in our jails haven't even been convicted of crimes. Most of them are being held awaiting trial, which is, has devastating consequences for their families, their individual selves. They might lose a job. And our broader communities. And this injustice really flips on its head notions of innocence until proven guilty. The U.S. has a problem with mass incarceration in our country, and Wisconsin is right up there with our incarceration rates as one of the worst states in the nation. When you consider the incarceration rates disaggregated by race and ethnicity, some disparities are extremely stark. While there are still more white folks in prison than other racial groups, the other groups represent a higher than appropriate portion of the prison population. A tremendous number of people are in our criminal justice system. About 104,000 of the around 4.4 million adults in Wisconsin are in prison, jail, or under some other type of probation, parole, or community supervision. Wisconsin spends more on corrections than the national average and more than our neighboring states of Michigan, Illinois, Minnesota, and Iowa. This is because we incarcerate a larger share of our population than our neighboring states. We're working with people who are directly impacted by the criminal justice system to identify solutions that we feel will change the current system of criminal justice in the state of Wisconsin. So one of the things that we are working to do is ending crimeless revocation. And so that's a rules-only violation where people are revoked from parole or probation and have to return to prison, not because they committed a new crime, but because they broke an administrative rule. I think more and more states we're seeing doing reform efforts around bail because it winds up being sort of a debtor's prison scenario. If you can't afford to pay your bail, you wind up spending time in jail, and a lot of these are nonviolent offenses. And really the purpose of bail is to make sure people come for a court appearance. And you don't need to charge people massive amounts of money to require that they return to court. If you want to get involved in our criminal justice reform efforts, you can work to stem the tide by visiting aclu-wi.org.